The Irish Whale and Dolphin Group has confirmed that the Kilrush-Based research vessel Celtic Mist will be retired at the end of the 2026 season. For more than a decade, the 17-metre yacht has played a vital role in surveying Ireland's inshore and offshore waters, contributing over 100,000 kilometres of marine research in support of whale and dolphin conservation. And for more on this, I'm joined on the line now by Mags Daly. Mags is the Shannon Dolphin Project Officer. Mags, thanks for joining us on the show. How are you?
Good morning, Alan. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being with us. For listeners who may not be familiar with her, Mags, can you describe what Celtic Mist has meant to marine conservation in this part of the country and indeed in Ireland in general over the past 14 years?
Yeah, she's been a crucial resource really to Irish Whale and Dolphin Group and in particular to the Shannon Dolphin Project. She goes out every year. We do kind of surveys all around Ireland, and then we do specific surveys for the Shannon Dolphin, their whole range, basically all the Shannon estuary, down as far as Dingle and up as far as Dinbeg. That's a lot of water to cover, so it's very hard to get that done in the rib. So we're joined by members of the Irish Whale and Dolphin Group. They would come on as crew and they would volunteer. The NAV crew would volunteer their time as well. So we're kind of basically sailing around the range, trying to get as many sightings as possible and then photograph the bottom of dolphins once we find them.
And just how important has Celtic Mist been to your work with the Shannon Dolphin Project, given you have used her extensively?
Oh yeah, I mean, she's been crucial every year. I mean, it's easy enough to get the Shannon estuary transect that we do done on the rib based in Kilrush, but to get down as far as Dingle and up as far as Dinbeg, get all that water covered, including Brandon and Tralee Bay, that takes a long time. So we'd be out generally at 2 weeks for a time, surveying the whole range. So that's really when we capture the most of our data every year. Brandon, it's the first dedicated surveys of Brandon were done on Celtic Mist. So we've basically been continuing that every year to get as much data as possible on their distribution and abundance as well, because you won't get correct numbers for the full population unless you get all those areas done as well.
And undoubtedly, given that she has surveyed over 100,000 kilometres of Irish water since 2012, the information that has been gathered about whales, dolphins and porpoises around our coast has been hugely important. How does the long-term consistent surveying from a dedicated vessel improve conservation outcomes, Mags?
Well, particularly with bottlenose, you kind of have to photograph them every year, or you'll miss the newborn calves that could have, been born and maybe died at 6 months if you weren't surveying the whole range. You'd miss those small calves, so your numbers wouldn't be accurate when you are doing population estimate. Like I'm doing an updated study on their abundance and distribution based on the data that we've collected on Celtic Mist. Going back as far as 2017. So it's really been crucial for them. Like we have identified those new areas that they have expanded the range to, and that's from using Celtic Mist.
I'm sure over those 14 years or however long you have been utilising Celtic Mist for your work, you must have seen some incredible things. Or, what stands out for you as a memorable sighting or moment that you've experienced on board her?
I've had some amazing sightings on Celtic Mist. I started on that even before I joined the Shannon Dolphin Project. I went on for a week or two at a time as a student just to see if I could hack it and see if you can't do a couple of days surveying on Celtic Mist without dying of seasickness. You can't do anything really, do you know what I mean? So it was really important to me even before the Shannon Dolphin Project. And like feeding frenzies at the Blaskets would have, stood out in my time over the years on her. Like basically a group of dolphins, common dolphins, probably 1,000 of them with minke whales and humpback whales and fin whales and 1,000 gannets. I mean, there's just been some amazing sightings. My dolphins also love that boat. She's really slow and predictable. She doesn't change course easily. So the mothers, I think, are comfortable enough bringing their very young calves up to bow ride. Brandon is where the teenagers would hang out. So they're always fun to watch and they're always straight over to me. Nick Massey got amazing footage one day. We were down off Slay Head and you can see the dolphins swimming really fast towards us. They get to the bow, do a handbrake turn and continue on with our path. So to be honest, they make it easy for me. They come to me versus me having to try to find them. It's a bit more, rib is faster and it's not as predictable, so they don't like that boat as much. But Celtic Mist they've loved. And it's been an amazing, you meet such lovely people on board. So by the end of the week, they're long, hard working weeks, but you're kind of like a family towards the end. You've been cooking dinners and cleaning and working all day together. So to be honest, it's an end of an era for the group.
I know last year Celtic Mist completed a 3,300 kilometre survey with Fair Seas supporting marine protected area legislation. How critical was that particular work?
Oh, that's crucial as well, because I mean, obviously to get MPAs assigned for, the protection of the dolphins in Wales, you need to know where they are. So having those sightings every year, those track lines laid down with the effort saying these are where the animals are. Even on my own surveys, we would record all the different species of dolphins in Wales as well. It wouldn't just be the bottlenose. And we had a group of 7 humpbacks one day off Ballydavid Head. While obviously that wasn't our target species, we still stopped and got all the ID shots of all 7 whales together. So that would feed into whale track as well.
Of course, Celtic Mist has been serving you well for 14 years, but she's much older than that. She's now 50, so a roundy birthday. And I suppose, was this decision inevitable, Mags? I know rising maintenance costs have been cited, but when a vessel reaches the half century, is a time to look at a change up and letting it rest.
Exactly. I mean, anything to do with boats is super expensive. Keeping them on the water is, a major fiscal responsibility every year. So unfortunately, it has come to the time where it's no longer feasible to do this kind of maintenance. And most of the maintenance will be done by IWDG members volunteering their time as well. So to be honest, it is unfortunately time to say goodbye to her. Even though I'm heartbroken to do it, it has come her time.
So what happens next then? Will the Irish Whale and Dolphin Group seek a replacement vessel? Will research methods change? How do you go forward?
That I don't know. I would hope that we would try and find funding for another boat, because she is so crucial for doing especially the Shannon Dolphin work. So hopefully we will find funding to replace her. But to be honest, that would take a while. So we don't think we'd have anything for next year as of yet.
Okay, well, hopefully something can be worked out. Celtic Mist, though, quite a history. It was formerly owned by Charles Haughey as well, even before being donated to the Irish Whale and Dolphin Group. So she's had a long and illustrious career.
She has, yeah. And to be honest, in a lot of the ports we go to, that's the main talking point for a lot of people. Oh, I remember Charlie coming in and being so warm and welcoming to everyone. So there is a lot of history of that boat, and people do love her. So to be honest, she does have a long history. We were only down in Inishfickalone this summer, and the Haughey saw us and came on board for lunch. So to be honest, they remember it so well as well. Like Charlie's grandson was on board, and I remember, telling us about the games they used to play when they were on board and kids. So yeah, she has a long history.
Well, it is the end of an era, but certainly she owes you nothing, that is for sure. Mags, thanks very much for being with us this morning, and we're sure we'll talk to you when there is, I suppose, a solution found or a way forward now in the post-Celtic Mist era. Thanks for being with us on the show.
Indeed.